Hey, what's up guys, SPEYERE here, and I'm actually going to make a small video because I wanted to show you guys how I make my covers and how I'm actually doing this, so let's check it out. So what you're looking at now is my DAW, also called Digital Audio Workstation. This is basically a digital music studio. What you're doing in this is record music, make samples, put it all together and mix it, master it maybe, and make it into a whole song. So whenever I make a cover, I really have to listen to the song itself. I have to repeat it, listen to all the small details in there, what instruments are being used, what is the key it's in, like what melody, what notes are being used, what are the chords. There are some small programs that I'm using to actually get the chords real quick so I can recreate them more easily and faster. Sometimes I don't use them, but so once I have kind of written down in my head what the song looks like, what is being used, I try to recreate it within my DAW. So let's see what my DAW looks like. So what you see right now is my full song being worked out all the way from scratch actually. So you see all the instruments on top, like my drums. You might wonder why I have two of them. I will show that in a second. I have a bass in this song. There is a piano. I have acoustic and electric guitar. Some brass instruments, strings, and trombone, I think. Yeah, there we go. Sometimes I use stock plugins, which are the cheap plugins or the plugins that are actually part of the DAW. You can also get a lot of plugins for this. But I'm just going to show you what I did with this song. You might recognize it. So let's see, where are we going to begin? Once I know what the song looks like, how it sounds, what is in there, I try to recreate it. And usually I try to start at the part which is recognized the most. Sometimes I feel like the drums are really outstanding and I can just recreate it on the spot. Sometimes I feel like, oh, this melody is like really easy to recreate already. So what I do always first is get the tempo right. The tempo is basically how fast the song is progressing. So for example, I'll show you. Let me get a clean scene. This is nothing. So basically the rhythm for this song is this. And you can, like, if you listen to a song and you tap along with it on this bar, like this would be a rhythm, you can hear it. It will be faster. Before this song I figured, well, it's 100, so let's stay with that. Now the fun part is going to begin, because if I have the chords, you know, the basic structure, the building blocks, the foundation on where the song is being built upon, most of the time, not always, you know what you can start at. So if I just have this piano part, well, that is totally being played throughout the whole song, or the track basically. Sometimes there are variations, but I just know this is the foundation of the song. I hear that all the time. Let's start at that. So I built that out over here. These are, you can see, digital files which show you the piano notes here. These are the notes I'm using, and this is basically the full chord. So you can see that now it's changing, and it's changing again. Let's see, is that different? No. Okay. From out these tracks, I like to make my tracks structured. So for me, tracks are blocks stacked upon each other to make start, then there is some chorus or a verse or anything like that. I always make it in blocks. Sometimes it's impossible to do that. Then sometimes I stretch in it or lengthen it, whatever. I use my acoustic guitar. I record it 2 times, sometimes 3 times, for a special effect, which is if I have the rhythm with the chords, I record the left. Well, this is pointed to the left, this is pointed to the right. Should have probably been the other way to make it easier. This is the left one, this is the right one. It is played the same, but of course you can never 100% play the same sound, which means you have a layer. It's basically layered 2 tracks together. One is left, one is right, and it sounds really awesome together. So if I undo this one, these are 2 different recordings. And that gets repeated a lot of times. Sometimes there are variations, you can see that. So these are the piano and the acoustic guitar were basically the building blocks for this whole track. After that I usually, or I do the drums. Or I do something like the melody. Well, there's no melody in this one. Is there? Wait. Oh, this one is. Well, so that's what I basically do. So I try to break down this whole track for myself to know what it sounds like, what I hear, try to copy it, everything. This is like the melody line, which you can see. So yeah, if you know music theory, you know everything what's going on here. If not, the higher the block is, the higher the note. So a low note would be like low, and a high note would be like higher. So that's how a song progresses. So whenever I have to recreate a sound or get a sound that sounds similar to the original track I'm trying to reproduce, I look into my library of sounds. These are the basic library sounds there are. You have mallets, and there are like a lot of variations that are in there which I can use and edit them so I can make my own sounds. I can also start from scratch using some devices that are digitally plugged in, and you can actually have plug-ins as well. I already put them down in instruments and effects here in my own tabs. Like for instruments, I have some of these are instruments and some of these are libraries, which is funny because this is, for example, a big program as well as a library with a lot of instruments in it. I use it a lot of times for my drums, like it says contact, this says contact, it's the same thing. And if it's loading, there we go. So this is basically my drum program. I have it selected now. You can control this by using the notes down here. You can see this is a drum beat, so kicks. This note would be snare and stuff like that. So I can control this using one of these. This is a drum. Yeah, what is it? A drum pad thingy. It's called a Beat Step by Arturia. It's a really good device. You can press it softly or hard, and it will actually calculate that into the program. But I sometimes also just, for the easy things, I use the keyboard itself. I have a keyboard down at my laptop here. Let me see. Okay. So I have a kick, snare, hi-hat, and I can record the drum loop. This is such a big structure of things you're actually all doing, and if you know what I'm doing, sometimes it's very easy to recreate something. Sometimes it takes a very long time because there can be very complex songs. This is actually one of the easier songs I did, because look at that, I am not even using that many instruments. I have this electric guitar as well. I'll put it away. This is my electric guitar. I just recorded this with my electric guitar. I can plug it in through some device which I put behind my laptop here. I have a mixer down on my piano, which is here. You cannot see it right now, but yeah, that's basically how I do it. So after I completely managed to recreate the song, there we go. So that's what I wanted to show you. I have two drums. The fun thing is, this drum is this part. This drum is this part. It sounds really, well, the bass is gone, you know? I tried to recreate it, and it took a lot of time, but I kind of figured out how to do it. And what I did is took all the bass out. The bass is basically the lower frequencies. I took it out. Like if you listen to it, if I put it back on, I think my laptop is kind of not liking that I record and do everything at the same time. I get that. But there are all kinds of effects you can apply to edit the sound, to make it sound like you want to make it sound, if that's the correct sentence. So basically that's what I do. I have this whole song here. I have this part. So just strings, brass. In the back, the trombone. So everything is built up. The bass. Sometimes I record the bass myself. I have a bass guitar in my room. Sometimes I use a plugin or a digital instrument. And once I have done all this, once I have done all the the whole song, build it out, I have to make it into a track, of course. Then I have to record this. I start at 1, C1, go through everything. Sometimes I do it twice because it's just looped, and then it's done and it gets into this view. There are multiple programs to do this with. I just do it with this one. It's called Ableton Live if you want to know what it looks like. This is it. So a song would in the end look like this, and I'll do it. Okay, look at this. First I turn off this. These are all the tracks, the small tracks I'm using. In total, it's the whole song from left to right. And so I can just start somewhere random. But it has to sound well together. Sometimes you use some plugins. Okay, this is just to make something sound better. I didn't really get so much focus on the EQing. I didn't do it that much in this track because everything is already arranged pretty good. So every instrument has its own layer of frequencies, which is very good. Yuki Hayashi did a really good job on that. I'm still learning, by the way. So I'm going to school now. I'm learning a lot of things at the moment. So everything I see now, sometimes I feel like, oh, I should have done that differently. But for now, I am doing this. And once I've done that, sometimes you have like these parts where a certain instrument has to sound less hard. Yeah, less hard. You want it to sound softer or anything. So if I have like these brass instruments and I want to have the track volume like come up in this part. Okay, my computer is not liking this at all anymore. But I wanted to slowly get it in there, and that's what I'm doing. And it's called automation, and it just lets you put the song together and affect everything over time, everything you want to affect over time, and multiple things you can affect over time. For example, this bass, you can edit the compress. There are so many things I can explain right now, but I'm not going to do everything in this video. This is how I do it. And you can of course listen to my videos. I hope you guys liked it. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet, and I am going to be a producer. Follow me on my journey, and I'll see you guys next time.